Hello, my name is Andy Hunt. I'm the author of Surviving and Thriving at University, and this is the first in a series of videos to accompany the book looking at school versus university. How is university different from school or college? Many people think it's the same sort of thing, like this is a quote from a first-year student saying, surely university is just a big school. Actually, it's very, very different. And this video talks through the 5 major differences in how you plan your learning, how you organise your time, how you cope with the fact that the work is challenging, how you deal with the almost inevitable self-doubt, and how you set and monitor your own priorities. And so the first difference is that you need to take responsibility for your own learning. Now, this might be a bit of a strange concept, but the previous systems that surrounded you made you work. They conspired to get you to do work. So school and society require that people under a certain age study. So they require you to study. School is a legal requirement. Everybody goes there, so it is just expected that you go. And then discipline is imposed. You're chased up if you don't go. There's strict time and attendance monitoring. Now you are in charge of your own study and indeed your own life. And when you go to university, nobody will chase you to work. Teachers won't pester you. Assignments are published often at the start of a term or the start of a course, and then it's over to you to work through this set of words and requirements and to get something to happen. You won't be chased up. There are lots of distractions at university. There are great people to meet, societies that you join, parties to go to, sports activities to do. And you are totally in charge of looking after yourself. This cartoon shows a student that discovers, it dawns on them that the washing fairy does not actually exist. You're in charge of your own washing. You're in charge of your own eating. And often you will need to cook for yourself, and to do that you need to go shopping, and all of this needs organisation. Then you need to sleep. It's actually a fundamental requirement, and a lot of people get into trouble because they don't sleep properly. And then you have to do your work. All of this requires you to do the second different thing, which is to organise your own time professionally. It's worth taking a few moments to realise that up till now time has been organised for you. So typically think of the things that have been done for you. People chase you up in the morning, get you out of bed, remind you of the time, come on, get your bags ready, the bus leaves in 20 minutes, they'll cook for you. And then there are the whole timed transport systems that are organised to get you to school. There's a requirement to line in a queue and to get the bus. Bells at school go off regularly and planners tell you exactly where you need to go. The teachers will break down assignments into chunks and then demand regular input from you to keep you on target. Breaks and food are imposed and in fact provided for you. You don't have to think about them. Then generally, I know this is not true for everybody, but your home environment is typically supportive with getting on with homework, arriving home, and people will sort of say, what homework have you got? What do you need to do? And then suddenly you go to university and all that support is removed. So you must now be your own assistant. You must now be your own support system. And this comes as a shock to people. So for example, you have a timetable and you need to plan your week around that timetable. So you need to find out where to go, and this might be across town, it might be in a new building. So you often might need to do a trial visit, go and visit the lecture theatre, because it's awful being late to places or missing things. You immediately feel like you're getting behind. So if you think about it, you have to organise your life just to get to the sessions. These will not all be in one classroom, they'll be spread around all over the place. And then just going to the lectures is not enough. You need to schedule regular follow-up work. And then these assignments that you've been given, you need to organise your time and regular time slots that you're going to work on these assignments. And as well as all of this, you're balancing it with all those other commitments that we mentioned before, the washing, the sleeping, the sports, all that sort of thing. So the third difference is that you should expect the work to be hard and very challenging. So you have to choose how you react to the challenge of hard work, things that are going to stump you, things that are going to make you feel maybe a bit inferior. So imagine that you come out of a hard lecture, and apologies here to any psychology departments. Imagine you've just come out of a lecture and both of these students are feeling that they didn't understand much, it was really challenging, and they're both a little bit bewildered. First of all, hard lectures should happen often. Imagine the opposite of this. You come out of every lecture going, oh yeah, I knew that. Then what are you paying for? So you should expect to be challenged by your course. Now, this same lecture can produce very different reactions, and I put it to you that you are in charge of your own reactions. So look at this first student. That was awful. I understood nothing. It's all bad. I'm stupid. There is no point in me going to the next lecture. This other student found it hard as well, but he says, that was hard. But yeah, that's to be expected at uni. So I'll work on my notes, and maybe I'll watch the video playback. Maybe I'll have a chat to my tutor, and I'll do all of this before the next lecture. Which of those attitudes do you think is going to work well in the long run? So you have to choose. Which one will you choose? So the main differences in the work are as follows. At university, you study one subject in great depth. That's very different to school, where you've got much more of a multidisciplinary curriculum that everybody has to study. And the material you are working with is expert material. It is meant to be hard, it is meant to be challenging, it's not written for novices. So at first, particularly, you will find the reading material challenging. You are also then expected not just to read it, but to engage with, and then maybe perhaps synthesize or criticize this material. And eventually you need to be able to contribute your own innovative work. This is very different to the sort of curriculum expectations at school. Marking and feedback are completely different. So here someone has got 9 out of 10 in a spelling test at school, and what everyone says, which one did you get wrong? But at university, if you got 90%, that's extraordinarily rare. You're working at sort of international standards at that. You may be really pleased to get a first quality of about 70%. So the marking standards and the feedback, at school it's very likely to be things like, oh, must work harder, whereas you get criticised objectively on your work and given suggestions for improvement at university. So the feedback mechanisms are different as well. And eventually, the expectation is that you become an expert in your subject. Now, to do that, it takes a lot of work. So this brings us to the fourth difference, that you need to cultivate a positive attitude to your learning. Now, because of the very fact that you have made it to university, certain things are likely to be true. You may have got used to being top of the class or near the top of the class. You may be used to doing very well in assignments. I've had people interview say, oh yeah, most of these things are not a challenge, I can sort of breeze through them. You may be used to being the one that sits around doing some extra reading while other people catch up. You may have the feeling that there are other people around you that have challenges in their education, and you just get on with it. That's pretty normal for most people that go to university. And then things are different. You go here and you see superstar learners and people who appear like geniuses surrounding you all the time. You no longer feel top. So this person says, look, everyone else is so clever. Look how hard they're all working. Look how many books they're reading. There is no way I can do that. I am just so out of place here. This person sees the same thing and says, this place is amazing. Everybody seems to want to learn. They come from all over the world. Some of them are brilliant. I can learn so much from these people. Right, where do I need to start? What do I need to change? Which of those mental attitudes do you think will serve you best? And which one will you choose to cultivate? These states of minds are the things that differentiate between successful students and not successful students. People think it's just to do with how intelligent you are. We've all got similar brains, but they're wired in different ways. And sometimes the attitude you choose affects everything else. Be very aware of imposter syndrome. Look it up. It's a big problem at university. And the final difference between school and university that we cover in this video is that you need to be your own manager. Let's face it, university is a fantastic place to be because you're going to be surrounded by people who've chosen to study the same subject as you and dedicate several years of their lives doing that. You're going to be taught by people who are experts in their subject area, often writing the books and the main papers. You will gain amazing experiences and opportunities. But nobody is going to do anything for you. This student here is dreaming of playing computer games, but is getting on with planning their work with to-do lists and mind maps and organising their time. You are in charge of everything at university, and you have to get that all under control. So university is fantastic, but it's also very hard work because you need to manage the following things. You need to manage getting up in the morning, navigating any transport network, catching buses, walking to wherever you need to be in good time. When you're in the taught sessions, you need to listen intently, keep yourselves alert, make notes. Maybe you need to plan your free time so that you've got enough fun, exercise and sleep. But you also need to organise your own shopping and cooking and washing up and cleaning and laundry, as we've seen. And then you need to plan your private study very carefully. It's not just about the taught sessions. You need to have enough time and focus to catch up with lecture notes, to work out what you understand and what you don't understand and then act on it, to do some extra reading or study to keep up with the work or to catch up if you've got behind. You need to prepare, look ahead for laboratories or workshops or discussions. You need to work on your ongoing assignments, and you need to arrange meetings with other people, staff and students, to study or maybe to work on team projects. And then you've got long-term goals like exams that you need to prepare for, not in a rush 1 week before, but throughout the year. That's a lot of stuff to manage. So where can you find out more? Well, this video covers just chapter 2 of my book, Surviving and Thriving at University, and you can get that whole chapter with all the cartoons and instruction tables, etc. It's included in the full free sample that's available here, Surviving and Thriving at University book preview. But you can also get the full paperback book from Amazon from that link, and in the same place you can get it in Kindle format as well. And so in summary, the differences between school and university are: number 1, you need to take full responsibility for your own learning. Number 2, you need to organise your own time. Number 3, you should expect the work to be hard and challenging. Number 4, you should cultivate and practice a positive attitude to your learning. Number 5, you need to be your own manager. Now, for more information, you can check out the freely downloadable book sample that features chapters 1 to 3 and lets you see the full contents of the book. And if you have any questions, please feel free to email me at andy.hunt@york.ac.uk.